Hey guys, this is Nicole Glass, and today I want to do a review on a camera lens that's very quickly becoming one of my favorites. This one here. I've been renting different versions of the Canon 70-200 for a few years now, but I never justified actually buying it myself. There were a few reasons I kept renting this lens instead of buying it. One, it was just so heavy, and I really couldn't imagine carrying this around all the time, especially if I was traveling. Two, I primarily used it to photograph corporate events, speeches, and performances, things like that, and whenever I had one of those events, I would just rent the lens. 3, I loved using my Canon 85mm lens for portraits. It did such a fantastic job, and I didn't really see the need to use this one instead. At least not for solely that purpose. And 4, I just didn't find myself in that many situations where I needed this much zoom. And I often preferred shooting with wider angles, at least in my day-to-day life. But all of that recently changed. At some point, I thought renting this lens over and over and over again is quickly adding up, and at this point, I just might as well buy it. I just increasingly found myself in situations where I needed it. Also, version 3 of this lens was released just a few months ago, last summer actually, which made the price of version 2 drop significantly. And it was definitely a good time to just go for it and buy this lens. So I made the purchase. At first, I purchased it from a third-party seller and returned the lens because it had some issues. I made a video about that, which I'll link below. I then reordered the lens from a reputable seller, and it came in perfect condition, no problem.
What?
Can I pick up a package,
Oh,
Kevin?
you can pick it up anytime you want. I present to you your package.
Oh,
Mrs. Glass.
Thank you
go.
so much. So excited.
Enjoy. Always secure in the season's package room.
But after it arrived, I realized something. The seller actually sent me version 3 instead of version 2, even though I ordered and paid for version 2. I couldn't believe that this actually happened. Usually when there's mistakes, they're not in your favor. And I still can't believe this happened. I've actually honestly never heard of this happening to anyone else ever before. But if it's happened to you, let me know. Anyways, so I was all ready to go and use version 2 a little bit more and then do a review on version 2, but honestly, I didn't have version 2, I had version 3. So anyways, version 2 and version 3 look very, very similar, but there are a few features that have been improved on version 3. Number 1, version 3 has special coating that reduces flare and ghosting. And I can confirm that this actually works really, really well. 2, version 3 also has a special fluorine coating on the front and rear lens elements, which keeps them cleaner and also makes them easier to clean. 3, version 3 has the newer, whiter paint color, which is totally just an aesthetic and does not affect the lens performance at all. 4, version 3 has a few other aesthetic differences, including the typography on the lens, and again, this has no effect on the lens's performance. And 5, it is slightly lighter. At 50.5 ounces, it is just about 2 ounces lighter than version 2, and honestly, this is such a small difference that most people would probably not notice it. I feel like I notice it, but it might just be in my head because I know that it's lighter. But I mean, this is no real reason to actually go for version 3, unless you're super sensitive to weight. So anyway, is it worth getting version 3? Well, if you have unlimited money, then I would say yes, simply because the flare reduction is really, really good. But honestly, if I hadn't accidentally received version 3, I would have simply stuck with version 2. And I would have been a totally happy camper with it. So if you're looking to buy a Canon 70-200 lens, I would recommend the Canon 70-200 f2.8 version 2 lens because it's significantly cheaper right now. And the differences between version 2 and version 3 are primarily aesthetic. Not completely, but primarily. And in my opinion, the differences between these two lenses are not major enough to justify the higher price tag. The fact that version 3 came out is actually a blessing because it made version 2 go on sale. But again, this is just my opinion. Other photographers have different opinions, and if you have a contradicting opinion, let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear your own thoughts. So definitely check out the links in my description below. I'm linking to both version 2 and version 3. And let me know, do you have this lens and what are your thoughts on it? What do you primarily use it for? Anyways, subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up and I will see you in the next video. Take care. So here's my subscribe pillow. I keep forgetting that I have this. I actually sleep with it, and then I actually forget to use it in videos. But the point was to use it in videos, so I can be like, subscribe.